I think I got cut 8, 9 times in my career. For a career man, it's equivalent to getting fired 8 or 9 times.
Yeah,
like,
bro,
getting fired 8 or 9 times. Like, that's a lot. But it unlocked in my brain the fact that I was an NBA player. And at that point, I was like, oh, I made a team. That means like I can play in this league.
Yeah. How was it getting cut that first time, maybe first, second, third time, compared to being undrafted?
I think not getting drafted was by far harder than getting cut. I don't understand how people go through life, the ups and downs, the roller coaster that we call life, without a foundation of faith. I don't.
All right, guys, welcome back to the lounge here at the Gents Place at the Star in Frisco, Dallas Cowboys headquarters. You a Dallas Cowboys fan? I never asked you that.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I've lived here for about 10 years. You kind of convert over a period of time. I think 10 years is the mark where you kind of have to start cheering for him a little bit.
Okay, all right. I got my buddy Anthony Tolliver. We just met recently, and man, I could have talked to you for 2 more hours the other day. So now we get another hour.
There we go. I love it.
Anthony's a former NBA professional, 13 years in the NBA.
Yep.
Played some overseas, played some D League at the time, which is now G League.
Yep.
9 different teams in the
11.
NBA? 11 teams, okay.
11 different teams. I think 17 in total.
Dang.
Over the course of my career.
Okay.
11 in the NBA.
Undrafted.
Yep.
Let's start there, because I like the underdog stories. Grateful to be undrafted, happy you were undrafted looking back, or no?
Okay, so that's a story. At the time, obviously growing up, I had this moment kind of etched in my brain before it even happened, which was to hear my name on draft day. That was one of the goals, and at the time it felt like the goal. It's like to hear my name on draft day. Working towards it my whole entire life, and so when that day came and went, and I didn't hear my name, it crushed me. Initially, it definitely was something that I wasn't expecting to be drafted, I guess, at that time, but I was like, I knew there was a possibility. I'd played really well in the pre-draft. There was a team, actually the Rockets, that had called and said, hey, we have the 53rd pick. Like, we're looking at you and like one other guy. We're looking at, potentially sticking you overseas a little bit, developing you. Would you be interested? And it's kind of like, yeah, but I mean, I'm trying to play in the NBA, like that. I don't really want to go overseas. So it wasn't like, yes, we're all in on it, but it wasn't like, no. So it was like, oh, well, maybe they might still draft me. Cause I played really well in the pre-draft in that pre-draft camp. And so, it came and went. I was crushed. And, after a little bit, I realized, you know what, like this can be an advantage. I can take this as an advantage because, hey, I'm not tied to any team anymore. I'm a free agent. So if I'm a free agent, I can choose the situation I go into. If I got drafted by the Rockets or I got drafted by whoever, they control my rights. They control anything. They would control whether or not I even had a chance to play in the NBA because they could just stick me overseas and I would have no control. And so it ended up being a blessing in disguise. It ended up being something that worked really well because then I got a chance to go to Cleveland, which was not even on my radar at all, to go to a team situation where I would have an opportunity to at least try to make a team.
Yeah, I've always wondered this. You're undrafted.
Mm-hmm.
What happens after that moment? Are you picking up the phone, calling people? Do you have an agent? What happens?
My agent as soon as I'm undrafted, first of all, he receives calls too, right? So he receives calls from teams that recognize that I didn't get drafted. Hey, maybe, come to Summer League, because Summer League is right after the draft. And so I got invited to multiple different Summer Leagues and multiple different teams for that, which is just another opportunity, right? Another opportunity to show what you got. And so they start recruiting you, but then you also start, the agent starts calling people and doing that. So then you go to Summer League and then you perform and you do whatever you can to stand out there with the hopes to get invited to camp. And so not everybody gets an invite to camp. Like that's a big deal. You get a jersey, It's the real deal experience, essentially. Even if you don't make the team.
Is this late summer? So after summer league?
So this is after summer league, about a month and a half after summer league, actually. So it's quite a while. But summer league and free agency is happening all kind of simultaneously. But you're a rookie, or if you're a young guy, you're not really part of the free agency as much because you're still trying to prove that you belong, right? So you're in the summer league and you're trying to do that. So anyways, after all of that, Cleveland was one of the teams that invited me to camp, and it just was the best fit for me, so I chose it, even though I knew that most likely it wasn't a long-term fit. It was just an opportunity to maybe make a team. And that's what I did. I went and made the opening day roster for the Cleveland Cavaliers my first year, which then turned on this and made me realize I can do this. Like, if I made the roster, I can do this. Now, I got cut on opening night. Yeah. But it unlocked something in my brain because I came from a small school. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like a big time program that all these stars are coming out of. But
Creighton, by the way.
Yeah, Creighton University, which now is in the Big East, which now has a little bit bigger name, but at the time we were little Creighton from Missouri Valley, So, but it unlocked in my brain the fact that I was an NBA player. And at that point, I was like, oh, I made a team that means like I can play in this league.
Yeah.
And of course, it was up and down. Lots of, I got cut multiple times after that and all that stuff, but it was the opportunity that really gave me the confidence to keep going. But it all stems back to not getting drafted. Mm-hmm. And so, like I said, hindsight's 20/20, right? Like when you're able to look back and see how God is working these pieces that you don't see as good, I think that's whenever you can really see the vision for what he has for you.
Yeah. How was it getting cut that first time, maybe first, second, third time, compared to being undrafted? At that point, were you just like, that's fine, I'll move on? Or was it like, my career's over? Was it like a full reset of, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with my life every time?
Yeah, so I've never been asked that question. It's actually a great question. And thinking back to my mindset, where I was mentally, physically, emotionally, I think not getting drafted was by far harder than getting cut. And the reason why is because not getting drafted felt like I said, it was something I'd been working on and working towards my entire life, which was like that moment. And so I guess previous 22 years or 20, since I had memories, right? Like I guess the previous 17 years or so, I had thought about that night probably daily, right? Like, draft, I would love to get drafted. I want to be drafted. But getting cut was, yes, at that moment, majority of the time, and I knew this, it wasn't after I made a team. I was like, first of all, I know I'm good enough now, right? Like it's proven. I've made an NBA team, so I can compete with these guys. And I saw it, I felt it. So when I would get cut, it became, oh, it's just not God's timing. Just not the right team for me. I'm going to make it, right? Yeah. There was never a wavering of confidence for me. There were a lot of people I've seen that they get cut once.
Yeah, they're done.
And their career is over.
Yeah, because up here, they're
right. They didn't know how. Like they had no backing, and they've always been told that they were the best. They've always been the best player on their team, or oh, you're going to be an all-star. You're going to be this. You're going to go to the NBA. And I saw some guys, and I'm not going to name any names, but I literally saw guys get cut one time and literally quit basketball and say, I'm going to go be a rapper, or I'm going to go do this, or I'm going to go do that. It's like, dude, like you got cut once. Like you're good enough to make it. Clearly, like you have all the pieces, but it was right here, like you said.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as they got cut and they were told that they weren't good enough, it was as if somebody said, you're never going to be good enough, so you might as well quit. That's how they took it. And so I was the complete opposite. I had so much self-confidence after making that initial team. I had so much confidence in myself, and I had so much confidence in the fact that, hey, like, God's going to order these steps. He's going to put me in the right place at the right time. If I get cut, that just means it's not for me.
Yeah.
That just means it's not the right place for me and not the right time. But I just was staying relentless. And I was probably just super naive.
Well, yeah, probably naive, but also, because I've researched you, spent time with you, watched podcasts, and know my own journey in my faith is when you do not have that foundation and someone tells you you're not good enough, you might believe them.
Yep.
And then you might quit. If your identity and your self-worth is caught up in what everybody else thinks about you. So I look at it like, in looking at your journey is, and God, I'm good with God. I'm a child of God. Like I'm worthy.
Yep.
So if the Chicago Bulls or Cleveland Cavs or Minnesota Timberwolves say I'm not worthy, that just means, like you said, like I'm just not a good fit at this time.
It's their loss. That's that's how I viewed it. It's their loss. It sucks that they don't want me on their team because I was going to add something great to their team. But hey, somebody else will get it.
Yeah.
And that's how I just approached it. I think I got cut 8-9 times in my career. I mean, that's not a little bit of times.
Man.
Like that's a lot of times. That's, for a career man, it's equivalent of getting fired 8 or 9 times.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
Getting fired 8 or 9 times. Like, that's a lot.
That's the story I love, because God bless Steph Curry, and you and Steph are buddies. Like, for him to stay with a team that entire time says a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the team valued him, and they give him contract after contract, and there's loyalty built up there and everything, and that's incredible. I like the story of you didn't quit the first time, you didn't quit the second. What about the 4th, 5th, the 8th, the 9th? How about the 11th time?
Yep.
No, I didn't quit. Mm-hmm. That just takes a lot, man. It takes a lot. Do you, and I already know the answer to this, but tell me about your faith and how that kept you going through that process over and over again.
Like, just having faith as my foundation, it really helped me to have just unwavering confidence throughout all things when it comes to, not being told you're good enough, or people telling you not good enough, or getting cut, or not getting drafted, or anything like that. Like, it really is something that it just didn't bother me, right? It was not, my faith was unwavering through those moments, because I knew who I was, I knew whose I was, and I knew that ultimately he's in control of all of it. So getting cut, having these moments of what people would deem failure, I didn't deem them as failure. It was just, hey, what did I learn about the process through this whole thing? How can I take that to the next situation? How can I take that mindset to the next situation and help, how can that help guide me to my ultimate destination, wherever I'm supposed to be? That's it. I mean, that's the mindset I had, and that's what helped me. My faith is what guided me through all of that.
Because so many of these players, and we're not going to name names, but like there's too many. Like, when it gets hard, they go to drugs and alcohol and strip clubs and affairs and all of these worldly things, these earthly things, and they find out there may be some temporary pleasure, but they end up digging themselves even deeper in a hole. So yeah, that's what we've encouraged. I can't wait for you to meet my son. Encourage my son to do through all of his trials, like multiple open heart surgeries and coaches that are against him, then being told, you're not athletic and this, like, you're not going to make it. And for him to actually push through and make a college basketball team, that journey was hard, but we had to go somewhere, because we're going, this is hard. Where do we go? And went back to the truth. That was for us, and go, God has a plan. This is what it says right here, right in the Bible. And that's what we're going to focus on.
Absolutely.
And that was it for us.
Yep. I mean, I've said this many, many times in my life. I don't understand how people go through life, the ups and downs, the roller coaster that we call life, without a foundational faith. I don't
either.
I
tried it.
I can't imagine it. Like, and being saved, I guess, at a younger age, when you're 12, you don't really have anything going wrong, right? In life, you don't have any responsibilities or anything. So I've been an adult. Every moment I've been an adult, I've also been a believer. So I've never had any time frame of being an adult with real responsibilities, with real things going on in life, with losing people, everything else without my faith.
Yeah.
I can't imagine going through some of the things in my life.
You lost your mom.
I did.
You lost your mom at 23.
Yeah. So that obviously that's a very, that's uncommon, right? Like that's a very uncommon age to have, no longer have your mother in your life. But I would call my life outside of losing my mom early, man, pretty breezy, like pretty breezy, meaning like I haven't had a lot of crazy adversity. Like I just know a lot of people have gone through a whole lot of stuff. And in comparison, it's like my life is pretty easy comparatively. But even then, my life has had hard moments. And in those hard moments, I'm like, how would I ever live through this, or how would I ever go through this without my faith? Yeah. I don't know how people do it. Losing my mom at 23, that was, a game changer.
That was after getting undrafted, before you made a team?
So technically, yes. So after getting undrafted, I guess I technically made the Cleveland Cavaliers, but got released on opening night. The following summer, played summer league with San Antonio Spurs, played really well, and then got signed by San Antonio. And so it was still under like a partial guarantee. So it wasn't like, hey, I'm fully guaranteed. I'm on the team all year, whatever. But it was like, hey, like I got an opportunity.
You're getting paid to play basketball.
Get paid to play basketball. Yeah. I still had to kind of make the team, right? It was still like something that I couldn't just go in and be terrible in camp, because they did owe me some money, but they could just pay me the money and move on if I was not good. So I had to still go earn my spot. And so October 22nd, 2008, we played against the Milwaukee Bucks and played in a preseason game. I played pretty well, and it was kind of like, I'm going to make this team. Like it was like, oh, this is solidified now. Like my mom called me like she did after every single game, just never really critiqued me, but besides rebounding, she was like, you got to rebound more. But other than rebounding, it was never like critique or anything. It was always just encouragement, and it was just, hey, great job and whatever. Just like normal. There's every other game I played probably my entire life. Talked to my mom after. And then the next day, October 23rd, 2008, my sister called and said she's gone. And so I always kind of look back, I'm like, I know she wasn't planning on leaving that night or whatever it may be, but it was pretty cool that she got a chance to see the game that solidified the fact that I was going to play in the NBA. Like it was, which gave me some comfort, which was cool, right? She never saw me officially in the NBA, like on a team, after opening day, all that stuff. But I was like, she knew, right? Yeah. Like at that point, like we all knew that I was going to make the team after that game. So, yeah, man, it was tough, but like I said, going back to foundation, right? The faith, my faith being the foundation of everything, that was the toughest thing I've ever been through. And definitely had my moments of just like, kind of, I don't want to call it rebellion, but kind of, right? Where I'm just like, oh, whatever.
Screw this.
Yeah.
My mom's
right.
Mom died and
feeling sorry for myself and different things like that. So I had like a couple months where I was just like, not myself. But it didn't take very long for me to just, get back with the program and just say, listen, like, I know I don't understand this. I don't understand what God is going to do with this, what good is going to come from this. But I'm not supposed to. Like, that's not a requirement. Like, God doesn't say, hey, I'm going to make sure everybody knows exactly what's going on, even if it's hard, even if it's the person who you call like the closest person in, on the planet. your biggest fan, the matriarch of your family, all that stuff. There's never been a promise in the Bible that says that that's his responsibility for us to know those things. And so I'm like, well, I don't understand it. But that's faith.
We're called to be obedient and be faithful.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so
not to understand it all.
It didn't take me a super long time to get back to say, I don't understand it, but I have faith in God that it's all going to work out. And and without that, like I said, you know how you hear about people's stories of like, man, that was the turning point in their life, and all of a sudden, drugs, alcohol, this, that, and everything else. Like, if I didn't have my faith, I wouldn't be sitting here today. Almost certainly, right? Wouldn't have the wife I have, wouldn't have the kids I have, wouldn't have the life I have. Might not have even played basketball after that. Like it could have really gone bad. But my faith is what kind of kept me steady and grounded and allowed me to kind of get back out of that funk and get back to real life.
Yeah, love it. Before we leave basketball, because I do want to talk business, because you're not playing basketball anymore. Actually, do you still play?
Here and there, not very often. The last 6 months, I've been battling my hip, which is like making me sound and feel real old. But this hip thing has really been bothering me. But I'm actually going to probably play on Thursday. So play a little bit up at the church. We have some of the old guys get together. And
I still play 3 days a week.
I get up there. I get out there whenever I'm feeling good. And I'll get out there. Try to get out there once a week if I can, but lately not as much.
All right. Before we leave basketball, just selfishly, my son's going to college. He's around his peer group, all these guys playing ball now, going from high school to college. Just advice in general. Like he doesn't aspire to be in the NBA. He knows basketball is going to run out at some point, but maybe he goes and plays overseas, or he gets a job at the NBA, or he's involved in basketball. But what advice are you giving kids right now, considering, I don't know, there's so many things have changed. Guys have phones in their hands, you got AI, you've got just all kinds of stuff going on. But when these players are coming to you going, Anthony, like, what do I do? What do I not do? What are you telling them?
Nothing replaces hard work. I know that's probably boring and overly simple, but that's it. I mean, there's no replacement for it. And the other thing I would say is do everything you can daily to maximize you. Don't worry about anybody else. Don't worry about how you stack up to the next guy or how you stack up to whoever. It doesn't matter. If they are blessed with more height, more athleticism, more speed, more strength, whatever, it's just not, unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about that. But what you can do is maximize you. So whatever God gives you, that's his expectation, is that you maximize what he gives you. Not that you have, if he gives you $100,000, he doesn't expect you to turn around and make that into $2 billion. Like, that's probably not going to happen. So the expectation is not, it's to maximize that $100,000. It's to maximize your 5'8" frame, 5'9" frame. It's to maximize, if you do something, the word says to do it unto the Lord, right? Like, what I'm saying? Like, so do it as if you're doing it unto the Lord. And so if you're playing basketball, then the way you worship is to maximize what he's given you. It is not necessarily to be a superstar. Maybe you become a superstar. I don't know. Maybe that's your
through
max.
that process,
right?
Yeah.
Right. You don't know, but all you can do is maximize you. And I would say that is probably my biggest piece of advice to anybody: is stop the comparison game and maximize you. Maximize whatever you can, however much you can jump. Maximize that thing. Do some squats, do some calf raises and tuck jumps, all the different things. Maximize your athleticism. Maximize your shooting ability. What does that take? Work. Shooting hundreds, shooting thousands. Maximize every single part of the game. Because guess what? Here in 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 15, 20 years, you're going to have your own kids, and you're going to look back And if you look back and you say, I regret not putting in the work because I don't know what I could have been, that's going to lead to, I think we talked about it last time. Mm-hmm. It's going to lead to you being a dad or a mom or somebody that says, like, you're going to try to live vicariously through your kid. Now,
Gosh,
you're going to be,
see
you're
that
going to
a lot.
Oh, all the time.
lot.
And I'm telling you right now, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a genius. I'm not a person that knows everything, but I would bet a lot of money that majority of the men and women who are the moms and dads who are just absolutely hounding their kid and all over them about being the best and all this different stuff. Like, you want them to be good. You want them to try their hardest. But the ones that are just absolutely riding their kids have regrets themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, I would bet a ton of money on that, because why else would you have that much passion towards that situation?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just there's probably regrets. It's like, man. And the regret maybe is self-inflicted. Maybe it's not. Maybe they just got hurt. Right? Maybe they busted their knee. And then they've always said, I wonder if I wouldn't have busted my knee if I could have. And so,
this is their way of trying to
relive
manifest that.
Yeah.
What could have been.
But that's it. I mean, I would say, like, just nothing replaces hard work and maximize yourself.
Yeah.
You do those two things right, you won't have any regrets. Like, there won't be any looking back and being like, you might hope that, or you might have, you say, oh man, I wish I would have been a little taller.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I would have had a little bit more athleticism. Sure. But once again, those things you can't control.
Can't control, yeah.
So you can't feel too bad about that.
You can let those go. I couldn't make myself 7 feet tall.
I could never be LeBron. I could never jump like LeBron. I could never shoot like Steph. I'm like, but that doesn't matter. Like, that's not what God is calling me to do.
Yeah.
But I feel like I maximized what God gave me, and that I can feel great about that.
Well, one of our mutual friends, Stefan Johnson, when he first met my son, he was he was religious about giving this advice. I heard it from him every time. Just keep getting better. Just keep getting better. Don't worry about JV varsity. Don't worry about minute. Just keep getting better. Get incrementally better over and over and over again. I was just having this conversation with a coach where, man, there's so many of these guys out there that have all of this talent, but they are not showing up for practice on time. They're not doing what they need to do, and they don't have college offers, and they, by all means, they should. But they have a reputation for a guy that's not committed to being his best. And then you have someone like my son and others, like, well, he's not really as tall as we want him to be. He's not really as athletic as we want him to be. But we want that kid because we can see his trajectory. We know where he's going to be. Like a year from now, we don't know exactly where. We just know he's going to be significantly better a year from now than today. Mm-hmm. And then 2 years, and then 3, and then 4. And so I think these coaches are wise, right, when they're looking at that versus, I'm going to try to take this kid and change him. I'll make him show up to practice every day on time. I'll make him get in the weight room. I've seen so many times where that project has not worked out.
Very rarely, right? It's because that's character, right? That's who they are. But doesn't mean that they can't change who they are. I mean, it has happened. It does happen. But you're right. I would say vast majority of the time, you're not going to change a person's like character when it comes to that. So give me the kid who works his tail off every single day, who practices every single day really hard, who cares about the details, who cares about winning, who cares about the team. Give me that kid all day long over the kid who's a little bit more talented, maybe a little bit more athletic, maybe a little longer. Those kids are great to have, but it's also like if they're showing up late and they kind of have a bad attitude and everything else, it's like that's going to end up being a net negative to your team rather than the other kid.
Yeah, I was thinking about the extreme of like if I could only have a team of all this guy or all that guy, I have to choose this guy. I've got to choose the guys that are going to show up
every day
and are just trying to get a little bit better
every day.
Let's talk about business. I'm a big like failures guy. I don't know why. I'm a super positive guy, but like people want to know because they see you and they see these NBA players, especially 13 years, and they're like, man, that it must be nice. This guy does everything perfectly. Let's talk about business mistakes, because I've listened to some of the content, watched some of the content there. Like, immediately you're an NBA athlete, and then your contract is public everywhere, and like, oh, this guy has money.
Yep.
Hey, bro, I'm starting this business, man. I'm telling you, it's going to be the next Google.
Yep.
So I can only imagine how many times you have gotten that call from people. You made some investments early on, and you talked about making investments on trust. Like, if I trust the person, if they're a good person, and I give them some money and they're doing something novel or interesting, it'll probably work itself out. And I think you found that's not the case all the time. You started to add some additional layers to how you think about investing in business. So talk us through that.
Foundationally, trust is definitely number one when it comes to partnerships, when it comes to anything I do with other people, which for me, that's kind of been the secret sauce to the combination of finding ways to be successful and not leverage, like not giving up all of my time, right? And so doing this while I was playing, it allowed me to kind of learn how to build partnerships, and made a lot of mistakes, like you said, made some lapses in judgment of character for sure. But for the most part, I mean, it all starts with trust. And then, on top of that, like I said, it used to be when I first started, it was that was it. If we had some conversations, if we obviously get to know you a little bit, right? Like I don't think I invested with anybody, that was at least not somebody I started to get to know quite well. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, obviously experience, like, hey, do you have experience in this field? Like, are you just starting out? Like, because I did invest in some folks in that department where it's like, hey, I trust them, but they have zero experience in this.
You don't want to go on that R&D ride with them, right?
I actually did multiple times.
You don't anymore. You learned the lesson.
No, not anymore. Heck no. But I did early, and one of them did work out. A few of them did not work out. But the one that did work out has worked out enough to cover for all the ones that didn't.
Okay, that's good.
And that one actually is still going. So we're going to get another bite of the apple of that one at some point in the future. But
so you got trust. I'm trying to distill this down in my mind. You got trust. Sounds like expertise.
Yep, expertise / experience.
Okay.
Which matters a lot, but it's not everything, because I've had people who I trusted who had a level of expertise in that field, and it was a person of faith. So it was almost like, for me, it was like the trifecta. It's like, oh my gosh, like this is perfect. And that company two companies, I would say, have all three of those completely failed. Now, one of them failed because of the managers, like the people who were in charge.
Operational issues.
They just didn't know how to really run the business, even though they had experience in the field. They just didn't have experience running the company.
Execution issue.
Okay. Yeah. And then another one, they had everything that I talked about, and they had put a lot of their own money into it. So I was like, oh yeah, this is now a really good foundational deal. But then COVID happened, and it was a fitness company. And so that ended up just destroying the company, and it just could never recover, and just went out of business. Mm-hmm. And so, that one, I would say, I mean, the trajectory and the way it was going was really, really well prior to, the end of 2019. Like, it was going really well. But, so there's just certain things you can't control, right? Like, there's nothing we could have done about COVID. But COVID also, on the flip side, helped some of my other businesses, right? There's Big Blanket and Fishing Company. I had two of my exits during that time frame because our company started doing this, and we're like, well, when the company's doing this, let's take a bite out of the apple. Like, let's take some chips off the table. And so
people were doing a lot of fishing and sleeping during
Yes.
COVID.
absolutely. And so those two companies absolutely, made up for it, but, which kind of a little bit off subject, but really brings me to one of the biggest philosophies that I don't think I'll ever divert from, which is diversity. Like having a diverse portfolio is, I think, key to long-term sustainability and success. Like, how diverse? I probably got a little bit too diverse. Like, I probably had too many things going on, but like just COVID, it was a perfect example where, hey, I have a real estate bucket, I have a market exposure, I have multiple different types of companies that I have ownership in that are in different industries, right? And it's like, so something like COVID happened. Well, this particular investment went down. This investment went bananas. This investment went down. This investment went bananas, right? Real estate went up. Market went down, right? So then if you look at the average return over the course of time, I'm still doing well.
Yeah.
Even with the losses. And so, so for me, it's like that is one of the things that has really, it's always been a philosophy of mine, but it's shown to be very effective through some weird times, that, I don't think I'll ever really change that mindset.
Any advice for some of these young athletes? Now they're getting money. I think Pierce had a guy he played against, 18. As soon as he turned 18, Under Armour came in and gave him money while he's still in high school.
Wow.
So you're getting money. Oh, and you have a prep school, I think Spire up in Ohio, just got a $6 million deal. So this is a high school program, post-grad, fifth-year program.
Yeah.
Got $6 million for jersey sponsorship, stadium, or whatever. These guys are getting money fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like 18, boom, you got it. 50 grand, 100 grand, multi-millions now with top players going into D1 programs.
Yep.
Any advice for these guys? I mean, diversification for sure, but I could see people taking advantage. I mean, they were already taking advantage of a little bit more seasoned adults, 22-year-olds. Now you've got sports agents at middle school games.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
I just sent, you and I both know a sports agent. I just sent him a message about an 8th grader.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
They're already saying like, well, he's D1, he's NFL.
Yeah.
And these sports agents they're watching at 8th grade. So anyway, these guys are getting money fast. Like any words of wisdom there if you're getting some NIL money?
So words of wisdom when you first start getting money is not diversification. You until you build a nest egg, until you build a foundation financially, there should be no diversification. Because to me, that is, especially when you talk about illiquidity, right? So when I say I have diversity, it was diversity post building a foundation. Now, granted, my situation was a little different. I guess my journey was a little different because one of the first things I did do was buy an investment property. So I can't say that 100%, oh, you got to have X amount of dollars. But what I did have, even before I made that first investment, was enough to cover my expenses for 6 months, right? Which wasn't much because I was just coming out of college. I could live probably off of $2,000 a month, right? Like it was nothing really. So it didn't need much for me to have like a little bit of a nest egg, but for these college kids and even high school kids that are starting to get money, I just I would say, build the foundation first, right? Like learn how to save. And then once you learn how to save and you have a decent amount of money in savings, and I would say learn how to invest, like meaning like you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to, study the stock market 5-6 hours a day. No, you can literally get into some low cost indexes that are paying average 7 to 9% a year.
Yeah. Just get comfortable with getting your money out there. Separating from your money and
Yes.
letting it do its
Once
thing.
once your money, like I have a mindset of once I get money in and the money goes out to certain accounts, it literally doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, you're detached from it.
I don't, like that's not my spending money.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to teach my kids a very similar concept now. We doing the 3-jar system. You got to spend, you got a spending jar, you got a savings jar, and you got a giving jar. And for my oldest son, he also has an investment account, so he has kind of a fourth component. But he's 13, so he has an understanding. My other kids aren't really there yet, but I'm like, from a basic standpoint, you got a spending jar, you got a savings jar,
Yeah.
and you have a giving jar. And for everybody who's receiving money, it doesn't mean you have to have a jar, but I would say accounts, right?
Yeah.
You have a spending account, have a savings account, and have a giving account. And if you do that, if you learn to do that and it just becomes automatic, you're going to be financially in a really good position
Yeah.
long term. Like, because now you're learning systems, because systems really is the key to financial success, in my opinion. That is the big, like, the people who are random in finance also randomly go broke.
Yeah, yeah. Well, stewardship too is what I think about, like when you think about dividing this up and detaching, that you're being a good steward over your money. And God calls us to be stewards of capital. It's not mine, right? But like that's what I think of as like when you get that into these other accounts, that's what you are. You're a steward, right? It's not all mine and what am I going to do with it?
Yep.
We got just a couple minutes, 2 minutes left. So let's talk about real quick what you are doing now, where you spending your time. You got Athlegacy, you got Players TV, but like, what do you want people to know that you're doing right now?
Yeah, I mean those two companies are two companies that I've started over the past years, and Players TV is a media company owned by athletes that helped start that company right before COVID. And it's doing really well. Got a couple rock stars running it, good buddies of mine that just continue to surprise me daily. I mean, they're just absolutely killing it. All the team that they've built out to keep running it, done a great job. And so I'm proud of that one. I'm hoping that one ends up being another big win over time. And then Athlegacy is really the passion project. It's the one that I feel long-term legacy and long-term impact. I think that nothing's going to touch it from my standpoint, because we do life insurance. One of the things that we've really focused on is trying to do group deals like for sports leagues and provide a new benefit for all these different sports leagues, for all the players, so that if the worst happens, I mean, last week there were two NBA guys that died the same day.
Yeah.
Right. And that's, I mean, now, granted, it's not happening every day, right? It's not like guys are just falling over and dying every day, but it happens.
Yeah. You need that peace of mind.
And then having these guys have, the ability to, have their families be taken care of if the worst does happen, it means a lot to me. And I had some issues going through the process. And so it just became a passion of mine, right? It just became, hey, like if I'm going to do something that's impactful, that's going to impact a lot of guys, who's going to be something that, can help a lot of people. This is one of those things. And, we talk about people who, especially athletes who contracts are all over the internet. So a lot of people come to you, to get money, right? Hey, I need money. The reason why I got into this particular business and with the partners that I'm with is because the way that we structure it, it doesn't require money out of pocket. And to me, that was kind of like the big piece where I'm like, I can help people secure their legacies and they don't have to pay for it. I said, I'm listening.
Yeah, no kidding. Talk about an orange and a bucket full of apples, right?
Correct. So I'm like, yeah, that's the great combination. So for me, I became a client, and then now we're really focusing on athletes, but doing doing the same for business owners and high net
Businesses,
worth
yeah.
individuals as well. But yeah, mainly for the most part, we're focusing on athletes and helping them secure their legacies.
Nice. We'll drop the links to both of those companies here. Anthony, great to see you, man. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much for your time. Until next time, guys. Thanks for joining the lounge.